Hello, my name is Tucker McPherson. This presentation is part of my EVPC 320 course project, focusing on the Colorado gray wolf reintroduction. This case comes from the draft environmental impact statement prepared by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service in 2023. Here's the outline for my presentation. I will begin with the history of the EIS case, including the background, project motivation, and goals. Then I'll review the alternatives considered in the draft EIS. After that, I'll move into the interested and affected parties, followed by environmental justice and ethical considerations, and finally, I'll share my recommendation and conclude with references. This roadmap will guide you through the structure of my talk. The history of wolves in Colorado explains why reintroduction became necessary. Wolves were extirpated from the state by the 1940s, with the last wolf killed in 1945. In the early 2000s, small groups of wolves began to reappear naturally, and in 2021, a breeding pair was confirmed. In 2020, Colorado voters passed Proposition 114, a citizen-led ballot measure requiring wolf reintroduction by December 31st, 2023. Because wolves are listed as endangered in Colorado, federal approval through the EIS process was needed. The goals of this EIS are to establish an experimental population under Section 10J of the Endangered Species Act, restore wolves to their historic range, and balance conservation with livestock, recreation, and tribal interests. The draft EIS considers three alternatives. The no-action alternative requires Colorado to move forward with reintroduction, but wolves would remain fully endangered under the ESA, limiting management flexibility. Alternative 1, which is preferred, creates a statewide experimental population under Section 10J. This gives managers more flexibility to address conflicts while still ensuring conservation. Or Alternative 2 is similar to Alternative 1, but creates additional protections in Jackson and Larimer counties, where wolves may already exist, through a separate ESA permit. In comparison, no action offers maximum protection, but highest conflicts. Alternative 1 balances conservation with management needs, and Alternative 2 adds complexity with mixed protections. The Colorado wolf reintroduction affects a wide range of stakeholders. Ranchers and livestock producers on the western slope face direct risks of depredation, which could hurt rural economies. Tribal nations, including the Southern Ute and Ute Mountain Ute, have cultural and ecological ties to wolves. Hunters and outfitters may see changes in elk and deer distribution, while the recreation and tourism industries may benefit from wolf-related ecotourism. The general public matters because Proposition 114 was a statewide mandate, with an urban-rural divide in support. Conservation NGOs, such as Defenders of Wildlife and the Sierra Club, strongly advocate for wolf recovery and coexistence measures. Environmental justice is a central issue in this EIS. Legally, the project must comply with the Endangered Species Act and execute Order 12898, which requires agencies to address disproportionate impacts. Public outreach included meetings, surveys, and tribal consultation, though some argue that engagement must go further to fully respect tribal sovereignty. The most disproportionate effects fall on rural ranching communities, which face higher economic risks. In contrast, urban residents, who largely supported Proposition 114, benefit from symbolic and ecological gains without sharing the same costs. This creates an equity challenge. Cultural, ecological, and economic values are weighed unequally across different groups. This case raises several ethical questions. From a utilitarian perspective, wolf restoration benefits ecosystems and the broader public, even though some groups may suffer losses. From a deontological perspective, There is a moral duty to restore endangered species, regardless of the inconvenience. Finally, a justice framework asks whether burdens and benefits are fairly distributed. Ranchers bear disproportionate costs compared to urban residents, raising questions of fairness and the need for compensation or coexistence strategies. These ethical frameworks help us evaluate wolf reintroduction beyond just the legal or ecological dimensions. Based on my research, I recommend adopting Alternative 1, which creates a statewide experimental population under Section 10J. This option provides the most consistent management framework and balances ecological restoration with human concerns. To ensure fairness, a livestock compensation program should accompany reintroduction, so ranchers are not unfairly burdened. Tribal consultation must also be expanded with traditional ecological knowledge included in management practices. Finally, a non-lethal coexistence strategies, such as flattery, guard dogs, and fencing should be prioritized. These measures will help build long-term coexistence and equity among stakeholders. Finally, here are the references I used in this presentation. These include the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service Draft Environmental Impact Statement and Colorado Parks and Wildlife's Draft Wolf Restoration Plan. I also included peer-reviewed research such as Mooley and Musiani's 2009 study on livestock depredation, Trev's and Carenth's 2003 article on global human-carnivore conflict, and Michael Nee's book, Beyond Wolves, which examines the politics of wolf recovery. Together, these sources provide the ecological, social, and ethical perspectives that shaped my analysis and recommendations. Thank you.